World War II was started, I think, in 1942 or so. And it involved two groups of allies fighting against each other. One group was called the Axis powers, and the other group was actually called the Allies. Right? The Axis powers consisted of three primary nations: Italy, Germany, and Japan. And then you had the Allies. Okay, who was on the Allied side? You had Britain, you had France, Australia, the United States, and the Soviet Union. And it might be Canada as well. All these different nations came together, and they had World War II. Right? Keep all these things in mind, the nations involved as well. This war lasted 6 years, and guess how many deaths came out of this war? How many people died? How many casualties came out of World War II? 80 million. 80 million casualties worldwide. Worldwide, 80 million. By two opposing factions. Again, one called the Allies, the other called the Axis powers. And you had these two groups going at it, destroying the whole world and creating all this chaos and all this death and bloodshed. But yet you never hear the term white on white crimes. White on white crime. How many people had to die when the white man decides he wants to fight for something? He has no remorse for the amount of life lost, the blood spent, the blood shed, and how it affects the economy thereafter and the aftermath of it. If he has something he wants to do, or area he wants to take over, or a conflict that he's involved in, he doesn't care about any of these things. You won't see him talking on the news about, oh yeah, the U.S. is gone and invaded Libya, and the loss of life is tremendous, and we're so sorry we invaded this country, and we haven't really gained anything for the American people. No, he doesn't do that. And I'm saying all this to say that as we begin to come together as black men and seek true brotherhood, there are a lot of opposing factions against us. And the first group of resistance that we're going to encounter are the bastard children of white supremacy. That is the coon, the simp, the thug, and then you have the horse. Those are the bastard children of white supremacy. So now, brethren, as we're not, and what we're saying is not about hating. So why is it that when we talk about black brotherhood, white people, for the most part, want to label us as racists or haters of other groups? No. Black men have spent the last 400 years building up everyone else's causes. Now, black men, it's time for us to build our own cause. And if people want to consider that racist or whatever, then so be it. But we're not doing this because we hate anybody. We're doing this because we love our brothers as ourselves. So I'm saying this to say, now that black brotherhood is actually starting to form, we have these opposing groups. Say like this coon, Tito the Fraud, he's a coon. He's a coon or a thug, right? But he is being handled. He's being taken care of. But as we come together as black men, you're going to have your own Titos to face. You're going to have your own coons that are going to resist you for doing anything positive for black men. And what we do positive for black men ultimately is positive for black people. This is long term. But first it starts with us as the head black men, brothers. We are the head of the household and the family, and we have to take that back away from the black female who has received this headship, this stewardship, and it was unearned. It was given to her by white supremacy. We now have to take back leadership of our household that white supremacy has given to female. As we do this, we're going to have coons and thugs whose true daddy is the white man and white supremacy. Those are not our brothers. So understand, as you see conflict ensues between those who want true brotherhood and fellowship among black men, we are going to be encountered by the coons and the simps and the whores, right? And the emotional, like Tito the Fresh, but like the fraud. But you're going to have your own Tito the frauds to face in your walk. So I'm saying all this to say that now as these things are beginning to unfold, you have white people see, look at them. See, we told you Mgbrow and Ibmor would be nothing than black people going at each other. All they do is fight each other. Blah, 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 blah. And even some black people are using those same talking points. And I'm here to tell you, brothers, that those talking points aren't talking points. Those are shaming tactics. Whenever you have the coons fighting against those who want true brotherhood and true patriarchy and sovereignty, they will send the coons in to distort it, and then when you see conflict, then they come with shaming language because they want to discourage you, good brothers, mentally from the goal you're trying to accomplish. And so you'll see people say, oh man, I knew this was going to happen. Oh, black people against black people. It never stops. Wait a second. When white people fought for what they wanted, they were willing to kill. And we're not talking about killing. We're not even talking about that. We're just talking about sovereignty. They were willing to kill and allow 80 million people worldwide to die. That's what white America did, and the allies and the Axis powers, who were primarily European nations. The only nation who was not European involved in that was Japan and I think India. I'm not sure China's involvement in all of this. But the rest of them were European. It's white people. 6 years, 80 million lives. Where's the shame and language for that? They said, oh, we're fighting for freedom. Aren't you? Aren't we? Aren't we fighting for sovereignty, patriarchy, to reestablish our own community, our own families, our own households, and the love of brotherhood, the love of black men as ourselves? So do not allow anyone to get into your mind's eye. That's the purpose of shaming language. When someone cannot defeat you directly, they resort to shaming tactics. That's what women primarily do, and the effeminate. When they cannot stop what you are doing, they will use language to try to get into your mind. Because if they can control your mind, like Meg D controls Tito, then she can control the body as well. And so when you look at a group like RPB, it's really ran by a white woman. Tito is just a vessel for Meg B. He is a tool for white supremacy to steer a certain group of black males. I won't even call them black men. So when you see conflict between black men and coons, because there are people sent there to destroy brotherhood, there are infiltrators sent here to impede the progress of true brotherhood. When you see that happening, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's inevitable, because the forces of evil or wickedness or spiritual, the forces of, I'm going to be real, brothers like T, they're filled with demons. They're filled with unclean spirits. And now that you are coming into the light of truth, into who you are and who we are as brethren, they are offended at that, because they want things to remain the same, because that's how they thrive in darkness. Now that light is coming into the picture, they can't come into the light. So they want to keep things in a state of chaos instead of a state of order, because they thrive in chaos, because they are unclean spirits. So there will be those who come against us as black men for trying to establish true brotherhood, and we must defend ourselves, and we must defend each other as brothers. That is not black on black crime. That is not black on black violence. The people attacking brotherhood with black skin, those are not our brothers. Those are white supremacy's bastard children. We have a different father. We have a father, and they have theirs. Our Father is the Creator, the Most High. Black men, we are made in His image. The COONS and the SIMPS are not made in the image of God. They're made in the image of white supremacy. And white supremacy has their own bastard father. Okay? So, get that into your system and into your spirit and into your mind's eye, and understand that when people start saying that, that's nothing more than shaming language. And they are trying to mentally discourage the unity of black brotherhood. Luke 22 and 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen the brethren. So I'm praying for you and for us, that you do not become discouraged and lose your faith in what is going on. This is a part of establishing anything, any sovereignty, just like the Allied powers, the United States, Britain, France, and their allies. They had to defend against Germany, Italy, and Japan. They had to defend themselves. See, they didn't consider that white on white crime. They were just protecting what was theirs. And now we have to protect what's ours, and do not allow white people, white supremacists, slick liberals, or conservatives, or coons, or whores, or simps to discourage you with those weak talking points.